What's up, everybody? Welcome to Super Retro, a nostalgic podcast about retro gaming, TV and film, pop culture, anything nostalgia-based from the 80s and 90s. I'm your host, Tuck. That's your other host, Will. What's up, y'all? Let's get right into it. What's up?
What's up, guys?
TikTok page, man, we can't say enough about it. It's awesome. All the love we've been getting is awesome. And Will was just saying before we started, don't sleep on the Instagram. We're getting some love on the Instagram, too.
Coming up. It's fun just looking at it's entertaining itself.
Literally all day long I'll read, and it's so cool to just see the comments all day long or the shares all day long,
yeah.
or just something. It triggered something in somebody. But you know what else I've been noticing on the Mario 2 video that we put out? Tons of people had no idea that Mario 2 was Doki Doki Panic. But sure enough, did you realize how many retro gaming gatekeepers there is?
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, it's so annoying.
Everyone knows this.
We knew this 30 years ago. Would you guys just now get into this stuff, or did y'all just find out? You know what? What if we did?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. What's it to you? You know what? There's 300 people in the comments, and I'm not even joking. There's over 1,000 at this point. Comments. There's probably half of them had no clue.
I'd say more.
Probably.
I'd say more than half.
And maybe that's why the video did so well, because we actually taught some people some stuff.
People taught us recently. Like, we didn't know. Sorry.
Dude, look.
I played Mario 2 when it came out and didn't know.
Look, here's the thing. We're educating people. You know, we're finding the stuff out. We're putting it out to the public. Yes, we know other people have done it. Yes, we know that you already knew. Yes, the information's out there online. Yes, other people have made videos. Well, we're taking that and putting our interpretation on it.
Yeah.
That's it. And we're having fun with it. Super Retro it stands for a couple things. Bringing back memories, okay? Having fun, and loosely educating you if we get the chance.
Yeah.
That's it. There's really nothing else to it.
We're not fucking scholars on anything.
We're not experts.
No.
Okay? Shit, half the games we can't even remember. We pop them back in. We're like, yes, this game.
We're just some couple of 40-something-year-old dads.
Period.
Loving our old childhood memories.
That's it. Yeah. So if you came here expecting anything more, you came to the wrong place.
Yeah, sorry.
But I have a feeling you're going to stay because, you know, someone was saying that they feel like they're like our best friend.
Yeah.
Sitting, one of the comments was like, dude, I would totally be best friends with you guys.
Best friends with Will Ferrell and Tom Segura.
Straight up. But before we get started, I want to give a quick shout out to my guy, Corey C. All right, y'all, check these coasters out he made for us. All right, look at that. Look how, here, hold that.
Those are so cool.
Look,
dude.
I mean, that's quality. He sent me some pictures of it, and it was hard to tell from the pictures how good quality it was. Super retro coasters. I mean, you got the felt
they're
bottom.
Big, bro.
They are huge. They got the felt bottom. I mean, you can put
You could put a fucking frosty mug on here.
You can put whatever you want on this piece. So yeah, my buddy Corey C made these for us. We appreciate it, dog.
Man, those are really nice.
Let me give him a shout out to his business.
We'll
real
keep
quick.
him in the studio.
We appreciate it. You know, we'll always shout people out. You know, if they hook us up, man, we'll
at least on game nights we got our own coasters.
You damn right. All right, so the name of Corey's business, Killa Coasters. Pretty dope name, Killa Coasters.
Killa Coasters. Okay.
His name is Corey C. And his last name is exactly how it sounds, S-E-E, Corey C. You can get a hold of him at CoreyC26@yahoo.com if you're interested.
Those are cool, man.
Yeah, custom wood coasters and tablewares. Appreciate that,
Corey. Give me a table, bro.
I don't know if he makes tables, but...
no, but that's probably the best coaster I have ever seen.
Easily the best coaster I've ever seen, even for sale.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like even all the flea markets we go to, and like that's amazing.
I was trying to tell him to get an Etsy page, but for now
that's detailed.
You can holler at him at his email, CoreyC26@yahoo.com. Yeah, thank you, Corey. All right, moving right along, man. Let's start right into it. All right, so I'm gonna take you way back. I'm gonna take you way back. And
where are we going?
So first, let me tell you. Let me start it with a story first.
Preface this.
Yeah, let me preface it with a story. The Reebok pump. Okay, the Reebok motherfucking pump. iconic sneaker, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be hard to find excluding Jordans, you'd be hard to find a sneaker that made a bigger impact than the pump. Now, I'm not a sneakerhead, so I may be out of line saying that. But
no, when I was pretty into sneakers at that time, and
yeah,
like for anything to come out that got you away from like Nike, you know what I mean?
It had to be huge.
It was big.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
We all had to have them.
Absolutely.
Like that's another one of the gimmicks and the marketing. They got us.
Oh, for sure.
I was pumping my shit up, thinking something was happening.
Bro, the ad campaign was pretty epic. I was doing some research on it earlier today, and I'm gonna get into that. But let me tell a story real quick. So, first day of 6th grade, all summer I'd been wearing the same shoes. I mean, I had wore these shoes out. Had on some just regular ass, dusty ass Nikes you get from like Payless Shoes or something. So much so that my big toe was poking out, literally. Like there was a massive hole in the side of my shoe.
Yeah, that's how it happened back then.
Big toe hanging out. First day of school. Now, it's not because my mom sent me to school like that, but my mama, she wasn't a rich lady, and dad wasn't around. So she was doing the best she could. So she did what any other single mom in the early 90s did. She ordered me a pair of Reebox Pumps from the Finger Hut catalog.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the Finger Hut catalog?
Oh, yeah. My mom got in big trouble with that.
Bro, when the Finger Hut catalog showed up, I mean, you were circling that bitch.
Yeah.
You were all into Finger Hut.
Credit just went sky high.
Yeah. So you're like, you mean I can get anything in this bitch? Well, anyway, so mom orders the Reebok Pumps from the Finger Hut catalog. And back then, I don't even know how they did it. Would you pay with a check or they just sent you a bill? Or I'm not even really sure how it worked. But shoes didn't come in time. My shoes she ordered
for school.
For school did not come in time. I mean, she's pretty much like, well,
you going with these?
I don't know what to tell you. I already bought you some shoes and they're just not here yet.
The first week you're going to get rolled out.
So I go into school the first day and with my toe hanging out at a public school in Louisville, Kentucky. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal.
You might go through the whole school year being known as that.
It was brutal, man. Everybody. Next thing you know, people out in the hall pointing at my toe. Word got out when the class switched. People started talking. People walking by pointing at my toe.
Look at his toe.
It hurt a little bit. I was a little like, damn, that sucks. This is my first day of middle school, and I just got destroyed over my damn big toe hanging out my shoe. So I go home that day, and my mom, she could tell me, you know your kids. She could tell something was wrong with me. So finally I tell her, yo, Mom.
They got me.
They got me. They going in on my toe, Mom. All these jokes all day long about my toe. People in the hall talking about my toe hanging out the shoe. Well, one thing Linda Tucker doesn't do is play. And I know she didn't have the money. I know she didn't have it, but she didn't care. She said, all right, get in the car. Get in the car. We go to the Galleria. You remember the Galleria?
Mm-hmm.
Jordans that just came out. The black joints with the little tongue, got the Jordan on the front with the little pocket. Put the $5 in the little, You know what I'm talking about, the little Jordan button at the front. And like I said, I'm not a sneakerhead, so I don't even know what number those were.
Somebody in the comments will tell you.
I feel like they were like 5s or something. I don't know. I'm gonna guess 5s, but they're some of the most iconic ones there is. She goes in there and buys me these shoes. They're like $120 at the time, $130. She did not have it. I'm telling you now, she did not have it. But she saw the pain in my face and was like, "You're getting these damn shoes.
Yeah.
Well,
Tomorrow you're going to school."
Cool. So I walk in the next day with these brand new Jordans on. All right, I'm talking about shut the whole classroom down. Everybody like, "Oh damn."
He went from toe in his shit.
He recovered.
Yeah.
My guy recovered. Well, guess what came in the mail that day when I got home?
Pumps.
The
bro.
pumps.
So you had pumps and Jordan.
I literally alternated every single day. I went Jordans. I went pumps. I went Jordans. I went pumps. Every damn day. And everybody was like, oh, my God, he's a rich kid. He's a rich kid.
Throw in the starter jacket.
Trust me. my mom just saw the pain in my face and like sacrificed the light bill.
That was from getting picked on.
Yeah. Sacrificed the water bill. You know, she had to work a couple extra hours at her bartending job. You know what I mean?
Bro.
That's my Reebok pump story. But yeah, shout out to my mom for
How
that
funny was, like, I remember getting the pumps in the same middle school. We went to the same middle school. And I had those pumps, and we would play basketball, and we would legit pump our shit up during playing. Like, it was gonna do anything. Still couldn't jump. Still couldn't smack boards. Like, it did nothing, but we fucking were pumping it up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
all it did was support your, just tighten around your ankle.
Hold on.
Yeah. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
I loved them. I had to have them.
I had the black pair. They were all black with the orange basketball in the front.
That's what I had.
And I almost went and
I
bought
had the white
that.
ones like that.
Oh, you had, yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get into just a tad bit of history. So there's a guy named Paul Litchfield that came up with this technology. There was a thing called air splints that he modeled it from. He was just like, let's put that in a shoe.
It's when you hurt your ankle.
Yeah, and then you put these air splints on. Well, he was like, I'm going to put that technology in a shoe. And he did, and he created this shoe in 1989. Sales went through the roof. I mean, it came out in 1989. The ad campaign
they killed it.
Was epic. They had, they had Dominic Wilkins is who they had, like, their main person that they sponsored with them.
Yep.
Also, they had Dennis Rodman did some ads. He did some real cool pump up ads, and their slogan was "Pump up and air out."
Yep.
As in the no.
Oh.
Yes. It had a double meaning. So pump up and air out. Well, at the time, Nike Air was
out.
a huge thing. So pump up.
They were going straight
out,
after Nike.
Yeah, they were going directly towards them. I mean, it was their competition. Oh, they were $170 when they first came out.
Jesus.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe my parents bought that.
170. Well, I don't know if you got them as soon as they came out.
I got them immediately.
Well, they paid 170 for them.
My parents were crazy.
Yeah, that's some wild shit. Like I'm saying, I got mine from the Finger Hut
I also
catalog.
had I might have too, dude.
A couple years later. They came out in 1989. 1991, they had reached $500 million in revenue. Wow. I mean, these things were huge. And did you know Nike came out with a competitor? I can't even remember what it was called. They came out with a competition for it.
Yeah.
It's where you filled it up in the back.
Yeah.
But it tanked.
Nobody wanted
that. Reebok had a chokehold on that market.
No.
But here's when shit changed. Here's when shit really just exploded for the Reebok pump. The 1991 dunk contest.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Nope.
Who?
D. Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Before every single dunk in the 1991 NBA dunk contest,
yeah, I remember.
D. Brown knelt down and pumped his shoes up every single time.
And won the dunk
every
contest.
time. Did some just wild dunks, but then he goes on to do the most, probably
the no look.
Probably the most iconic dunk in the dunk contest ever. I know there's been better ones, but I don't know if there's a more recognizable dunk than that no look dunk that D. Brown did. I mean, it ended up being the logo for the pump or something. The logo was incorporated into the Reebok ad campaign for pumps, and that's when it exploded, bro.
Yeah.
It shot them over $1 billion of revenue after that dunk contest.
Yeah.
Shit exploded, and before Shaq came on, even
because he
before
was like
Shaq
92,
came on,
93.
they had hit $1 billion in revenue.
Dude, I think they're coming back.
Pumps?
Yeah,
I think they're
everywhere
here.
right
no,
now.
they're out. Yeah, pumps are here.
Yeah,
I almost went and bought some today just for this podcast.
Yeah, they look cool too. I saw a couple ads almost got me. You know how the
up.
Instagram ads will pop up. I'm like, hold up, do I need some pumps?
I was close. Like, you can look at my Google history. There's Reebok pumps near me.
Same reason we got all this shit. It's just that nostalgia hits you. You're like, hold on, I might need a new pair.
I feel like I do. Anyway, Reebok pumps, man, classic shit. Classic stuff, man. I'm telling you. I remember walking in that day with them pumps on, had my starter jacket on too. Couldn't tell me nothing.
Yeah. They were good. They were awesome, dude.
All right. What if I told you that a video game released in the early 1980s almost ended gaming, period? Like, completely. It almost ended everything. Caused a major crash in video gaming in the industry. The great, video game industry crash of 1983 was a result of this game being so terrible.
And had so much hype.
So much, and a lot of people already know what it is, but there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah.
So gatekeepers, kick rocks.
Calm down.
Calm your ass down.
Not everybody knows everything.
Yeah, we're here to tell some stories. What game am I talking about? The worst game of all time, dubbed by everyone. I think that's a stretch, though. I think that's a stretch. But universally accepted as the worst game of all time is 1982's E.T. for the Atari 2600. I'm going to get into why this is the worst game of all time and what stemmed from it, because, I mean, there's so many different angles here. But first, I want to talk about the designer, the guy that designed the game. His name is Howard Scott Warsaw. He was like a hotshot Atari designer. He designed Yar's Revenge and Raiders of the Lost Ark on the Atari, which are iconic titles on the console. So he was like their hotshot. So Steven Spielberg, I'm not really sure who approached who, but Steven Spielberg was in search of a game to accompany his movie for the release.
That was the biggest movie in the world.
So E.T. was released in 1982. Steven Spielberg wanted a game to come out following it, and Atari thought it was a good idea as well to have a game supporting E.T.
That might have been one of the first times that happened, because that set precedent.
They had just done it with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's what I'm saying. Like now, it's like from then on,
you do it.
Movie game.
Yep. So this was a new concept at the time, and Spielberg was like, we got to have a game.
Yep. Let's do it.
They enlisted Howard Scott Warsaw with the job.
We got a guy,
and he's already done Yar's Revenge. He's done Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is the best. Here's the difference, though. They gave him 5 weeks.
Can't do it.
They gave him 5 weeks to develop a whole game, when it normally takes them around 6 months to like comfortably get back then. I'm sure it takes way longer than that now.
Yeah, hell yeah, it does.
But back then, for what they were working with, it took them roughly 6 months to create games.
And that's what you get.
So they gave him 5 weeks. Well, he's like, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Game on.
Here you go.
And so he created E.T. He liked it. He played it. Steven Spielberg played the game. He liked it. The executives at Atari, they liked it. So, hey, we're good to go.
Put it out.
We're going to be in time for the Christmas market. This was released in early December, just in time for the Christmas market.
Wow.
Tons. They start flying off the shelves first couple days, right? They're flying off the shelves. Everything looks good. Well, not too long after they start flying off the shelves, all these reviews come out. And all of a sudden, all these games are being returned. And it's like, oh my God, what's happening? The word gets out that it's a terrible game. It's too hard. It's frustrating. It's confusing. All of these things are being said about it. These things are being printed. And, worse than that, the people that, the end user, they hate the game and they're bringing it back. They're taking it back to the store.
You're lucky the internet didn't exist then.
This thing was a massive failure, and if the internet was around, they probably would have only sold 10 copies. Yeah. Or they wouldn't have sold a lot. It was so bad. 4 million games were made. They made 4 million in anticipation, Jesus, which is a crazy amount of games.
Yes, it is.
3.5 of the 4 million made were sent back. Now, not most of those were dead stock that the stores couldn't sell.
Yeah.
So all these games were sent back. Atari had all this stuff. It's like, what the hell do we do with this?
Jesus.
We don't know what to do with it. Well, I'll tell you what they did with it. Well, this was considered an urban myth, what I'm about to tell you. Atari took all of their dead stock and dumped it into a landfill and buried it, and it's been there, and it had been there since. Now, it like I said, it was an urban myth for years. People didn't really believe it, or, you hoped that it was real, and wouldn't it be cool if we could dig it up? Well, it actually happened. September 26th of 1983, they dumped it into a landfill in Alamogordo, New Mexico. It was originally believed that millions were buried there, but later it was verified by Atari that the number was around 700,000. I knew I was getting my numbers wrong. That's what they ended up taking there. I'm not really sure what they did with all the other ones. And here's the cool part. In 2014, a couple companies got together, Microsoft being one of them, and a few others, worked with the New Mexico government to excavate the site as part of a documentary, Atari Game Over, which, by the way,
I watched it.
Fantastic documentary if you haven't seen it. And it's where I got most of this information. You have to watch it. On April 26, 2014, the excavation revealed discarded games and hardware. Only a small fraction, though, about 1,300 cartridges, were recovered. Most of them went to museums, and the other one, and the other were auctioned.
Dude, how the fuck did they? Can you believe that they worked?
I don't know.
It had been sitting out there.
So how many years is that? So 1983
to 2014. How do you make something that can still work?
Did they work though?
I don't know. I mean, why would they buy them?
Just to have it. I want one.
Yeah, I know, but I'd want it to.
I cannot find one online, dude. I cannot find one.
We'll get one.
Hey, if anybody out there has one,
Come on, man.
holler at us, and I'm sure.
Give us one of the worst games ever.
Yeah, I want it just to have it. I want it to be all crushed and funky looking. I think it's dope. But yeah,
E.T.
And that ultimately caused the great video game crash of 1983. And
because they were like, if this doesn't work, like you better come correct with your next game.
And it almost never recovered. And thank God Nintendo did not tuck their tail between their legs, because I'm sure that they were,
made you uneasy. I'm sure.
Starting
a video game company.
No, this isn't going how we thought it was going to go.
If Atari can't sell it,
hope we did that one justice.
Who remembers RBI Baseball?
Hell yeah! How can you not?
I mean, to me, this was the first awesome baseball game, because there was some before this.
No, definitely.
But I don't think they grabbed you like this, because this was the first baseball game that had major league players' names. There was some with their numbers, but if you don't have their name, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah.
But this, to me, was the first game playing my buddies when I was a kid that just felt like a real baseball game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And it took off. Like, after this, baseball took off on the NES especially.
I think these games helped me become even more interested in actual baseball.
Me too. Yeah,
I was playing these games before I actually paid attention to what was happening in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, this made you know. I knew every player on this game, and then I started to look at them in real life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's exactly what I was.
Like,
yeah,
and who was your team? That's another thing. Because everybody had their own team on certain games.
Yankees all day.
My team was Detroit Tigers, which is crazy because I didn't even like the Tigers. I just liked their lineup.
Right.
So then I would know their whole lineup and who did what. Alan Trammell. I would have every dude, and Darrell Evans and people I didn't even have any reason to know. Kirk Gibson, you know what I mean? And I knew their pitchers, Jack Morris, every team had a great story like that. The Cardinals were all fast. Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, they all had their own attributes. This game was awesome in the fact that the team you were had a play style. You know what I mean?
The baseball games before that, this had a feel of, okay, now I'm actually playing baseball. The other ones were clunky, and the guys it almost felt like for kids.
Yeah.
I know the whole system was for kids or whatever, but this felt different.
Yeah,
this felt like you were playing a real baseball game.
Yeah, and it was the first licensed game by the MLB Players Association.
And they went on to make a few more.
Oh yeah, this was a
That's a gray cartridge too.
Yeah, this is the OG gray cartridge. There's a black tingeing.
Yeah. But
these were some of the first great baseball memories of my time on NES.
For sure.
Yep. And shout out to OG Greg Newland.
Hell yeah, G New
gave us his childhood collection RBI.
G New.
Yep.
Baseball games on the NES, I think I probably played more of those than any other sports game.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I think it's because it was so hard to do other ones.
Yeah.
Football was really hard.
Tecmo Bowl had
Basketball was weird until it got good graphics. Baseball, They somehow figured out the clunky.
They sure did.
Just the dudes looked. It was just perfect gameplay. And playing your buddies was fun.
Yeah, I don't remember if this one does that. I'm assuming it does. When you hit a ball to the outfield and you're controlling the outfielder, well, all the outfielders are doing the same motion.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
When you're controlling if you go left, every outfielder goes left.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, it does.
That's so funny. Just the system was so limited that they literally squeezed everything they could out of it, and they couldn't figure that out.
It was cool that you could pitch to each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got your buddy to grab that second controller, and I'm pitching to you.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah. That was really
Like
fun.
throw strikes, man.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing. The pitching on these games was annoying when
It
you were
was
playing
fun.
with your buddy.
You can
know,
strike
but,
everybody out.
But yeah, RBI baseball.
RBI baseball, man.
Pretty damn cool.
Yep. All right, who remembers NHL 94? To me, this was like the start of the awesome hockey games. There was some before on NES that were pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Blades of Steel.
Definitely.
Like, but this game was like
Ice hockey is even good.
Ice hockey's good. Yeah, there was a lot of good hockey games, and this is the one I think when it came out on, I think it's on Genesis, Super Nintendo.
Yep, that's where I played it.
Yeah, I played it on Genesis too. Yeah. But I got this just because I like the SNES version, and this was when I started to learn a lot about hockey players because, like we said about RBI baseball, the names. Like, this let me know I got to play with Wayne Gretzky. I got to play with Jeremy Roenick. Like, I got to see all the goalies and, like, the people. Like, it made me understand hockey. You know what I mean? Like, I learned hockey from video games.
Same.
Like, from where we're from, we didn't get to see hockey.
Yeah, there's no hockey down here.
And I got to learn hockey by playing these dudes. And I think NHL 94 was one of the first, like, complete hockey games.
Yeah, we just played it earlier. And
it's still fun.
I wanted to keep playing it. I was like, shit.
And
Will beat me 1-0. I'm like, damn it. If we didn't have to do this podcast, shit, I'd sit here and play this game for at least another 30 minutes.
Yeah, we was at the Kings versus the Blackhawks.
Yep, I was Gretzky.
Yeah, and now we want to do game nights with NHL 94.
Yeah, we got to bring that one out.
Yeah, we'll have some tournaments.
There were other games on the Nintendo, on the NES that were good. They were good. I mean,
they were fun.
This one just like they figured it out. They really figured it out. You know, what were you telling me about the way that the shot?
The one time.
Yeah,
you could like pass to somebody and they're ready to shoot.
Right.
Yeah, like because the passing is so quick.
Yeah.
Like you can pass to your guy over there and already shoot.
What I liked about that one is the passing. It was so much more accurate.
It's fluid, man.
Yeah, it really was. Because you know, on the other ones, they were kind of sloppy.
Yep.
The other ice hockey games were sloppy.
And this just got you into it, man. Like the whole gameplay is just beautiful.
Yeah.
For a hockey game.
Great game.
Yep.
I'm just gonna bring this out, bro. As a youngin', you get this. This was my first introduction into beat 'em up games.
Me too.
Into you mean I can fight? You mean
I'm a street fighter?
I can hit people with whips? Like this chick comes out of this garage door and starts whipping? You mean I can beat her up and take it from her and whip her back?
I can throw knives.
Throw knives and throw garbage cans at people. That opening scene of Double Dragon,
man.
I don't think
the fucking cover.
The cover is epic. The cover is epic. But
I remember getting that when I was a kid.
Me too.
And I could not wait to go home and play it.
This I don't remember the first game other than, you know, Mario that came with the system. Mm-hmm. This may have been my first actual game. But that first level, man, that first level.
The music.
Everything about it, dude, is just so fucking iconic. When you beat those first couple bad guys up and then you go and it kind of opens up a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? And that's when the big dude comes out and he's got the barrels and he's throwing them at you. I love that, man. Dude. I love getting those barrels and throwing them from them.
At the time, it couldn't be more perfect. Like the way they designed it, the whole gameplay, the fun. Like, and I don't know about you, but I did play that as an arcade.
Yeah.
Like I would go to arcades and that would be there and I'd play it. And then when I was like, oh my God, I can buy it. Mm-hmm. Like I can take this home.
Yeah.
Like it's like you get to go and take an arcade game home when Nintendo started letting arcade games.
And the thing about this one that is just unfortunate because as many memories as we all have of Double Dragon, we'd probably have a ton more if we were able to play them together at the same time with each other, because this is probably another one of those things where people...
It's like a false memory.
Yeah, where people think that they played this one together. You did not.
I know it.
You played Double Dragon 2 together.
Yeah.
But Double Dragon 1...
Single player.
You play, you die, it's your other buddy's turn. He's the other guy.
Yeah.
See
who can get farther.
There is two-player, but you both get your own turns. You don't get to fight together. Which sucks.
They dropped the ball.
But I don't think they had the capability at the time, or they would have.
The next one, they were like, we have to put this in.
I want an explanation.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get 2-player on the first one? I'm sure that there were games out there similar that you could play together. But yeah, this is one of my all-time favorites. I definitely will put this in the top 10.
Me too.
And if I really thought about it, it may even enter my top 5. And as far as my nostalgic top 5,
man, look at that cover, dude.
Number 2,
like that, and this is why we bought this CIB complete inbox, pristine copy.
I mean, it makes me feel so comfortable. If I'm trying to show somebody the NES system for the first time, this is one of the games I play just because I'm so comfortable on it. Like if I play with my kids, here, let me pop this in. I know you guys like that. I don't know. Just fantastic game. Fantastic fighting. The staple for beat 'em up games moving forward. Laid the groundwork. I know this one doesn't hold up against some of the other Double Dragons. Like Double Dragon 2 is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
We got them all.
I got to go with this one as my favorite in the series just because if it didn't exist, then the other ones wouldn't. So.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Artwork is beautiful. And this is when artwork mattered.
It really is.
We had to use our imaginations.
What a game. Now all the Chinese restaurants are called Double Dragon.
That's damn right. And there's one where we're from too, and it's fire. All right, well, you heard of this 3 Men and a Baby ghost?
I did.
Do you remember that back in the day?
Yeah, it was like a folklore.
Yeah, it really was. Urban legend, urban myth.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me, okay?
People would rent it, and then you'd all try to find it.
I didn't know where it was at for a long time. Finally, I read it or something because, mind you, this was before the internet.
Yeah. No, this was
hearsay.
Yeah, this is from a guy. You'd hear it from a friend and be like, what?
Yeah.
So then, we would rent it, and, you'd have to hit pause.
You'd have to pause it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, so there's a movie released in 1987 called 3 Men and a Baby. It was rumored that the loft where they shot this movie at, this little boy died of a shotgun blast or something.
What story that you heard?
My friend said a shotgun blast. Yeah. Okay. Well, in the movie, there's a scene when this lady and what's his name?
There's Ted Danson, Steve Guttenberg, and
Ted Danson and Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Ted Danson was walking with this lady, and they were walking with this baby, and they go into a room, and then when they come back into the other room, in the background, in the curtains, there is what looks like a small boy standing in the window, but just dead eye,
not moving,
very.
It's like they
scary.
caught a ghost filming a movie.
It does look pretty scary,
dude. I swear I remember this. The first time we saw it, cold chills.
Absolutely.
Every one of us freaked the fuck out.
Dude, I was looking at it today in preparation, and it still gives me a feeling of, oh
shit, what was that?
Because I remember how I felt when I saw it. Dude, so look, I had a neighbor two houses down. After we watched it at his house, and I'm talking, this was in the early 90s. The movie came out in 87. I hadn't even seen it until 93 or something. I'm 12 or something.
Yeah.
I used to leave his house if it was dark outside and literally run for my life.
100%.
Thinking about this ghost in the window. It literally stuck with me.
And back then, think about you couldn't, no one could debunk you.
Right.
You saw what you saw.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
and we know what it is now.
Yeah.
And back then there was no internet to tell you that's a cardboard cutout.
So years later, Tom Selleck goes on one of the late shows and was like, "Listen, we shot that on a soundstage." He's like, "That wasn't even a real loft. That wasn't even a real apartment."
Yeah.
And it looks so damn real when you watch it.
And now if you go back and look at it, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it looks like it's just the way the curtain was kind of laying on it. It made it look like he had overalls on.
Yeah.
It looked like a boy from like a paper boy from
so
1920
funny,
or something.
How shit can just get out.
Turns out it was a cardboard cutout of Ted Danson, and the scenes that it was related to, it was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
They didn't leave it there. I read later on that they left it there on accident. No, it plays into the rest of the movie, but the scenes got cut.
Yeah.
The scenes never made it. That scene stayed
Dude.
in, so you kind of see it in the background. You're like, what the fuck is that? Terrifying.
That was a good movie, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, it had its time.
I just remember being scared shitless of this ghost in the window, and turns out it was a damn cardboard cutout of Ted Danson from Cheers.
So we didn't get you, Ghost.
It's funny how that shit happens.
It is.
And it was so much easier for stuff like that to just live on forever back in the
Dude, back
day.
then, like, you could have a guy that tells you something and you would never be able to figure out if he was telling the truth or not.
Think how many people back in the day, I'm talking 20s, 30s, 40s, even way before
Just
that,
lived their
that
life.
just believed what they were told and never questioned it, and it is what it is.
Like, you could lie about everything and no one could question you.
Dude, 100%.
Like, how you going to catch them?
It was so easy just to lie about everything.
Whatever,
Back in the day. You'd
yeah.
be like, yeah, I graduated from Harvard.
Yeah, 100%.
I did.
Yeah. I was in the military. Were you?
Yeah.
Huh.
Think how many people just lived their whole life
Yeah.
profiting from their lives.
Like, they died knowing that they lied to people.
Yeah.
Like, I got him.
That's fucked up. But, yeah, so 3 Minute a Baby Ghost.
That's a funny one, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what made me think of that. I really have no idea.
There's another one we needed to talk about one day.
What's that?
The Wizard of Oz hanging.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not real either.
No, but I saw it.
I saw it. I
And
believed
freaked
it.
out.
And, yeah, it was
Holy
fucked
shit,
up.
somebody killed herself on set.
And there it is.
I
He's swinging around.
I just saw it.
I saw it with my own eyes. And, I didn't know where that was at for a long time.
I
And
watched
finally,
it. It was
finally
like,
I found it. It was
holy
like I
shit.
discovered gold.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, my God, I finally
You got
found
that
it.
same scared feeling?
Yeah.
It's funny that you give yourself that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what you want to see.
For sure.
That's hilarious.
Let's see. Let's get into something else. I got 2 more things that I for sure want to hit. So I'm just gonna stumble into this one. How do we get our hands on these movies?
That little back area in all the VHS shops.
Mr. George Eagler, which is one of my buddies that I grew up with, his father. He'd walk us right in there.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Y'all rent whatever you want. We'd throw it up on the counter. He'd rent it for us. He wasn't paying attention.
Well, and back
God
then,
love
like-
him. He
like-
wasn't paying attention.
The guy working the counter didn't care that this guy was buying. It's like,
No.
you know how like you buy beer for, like they like
Yeah.
won't let you.
Yeah.
Like you can't buy beer for him.
Yeah.
But back then, you just like, here, he's buying it at the store. And
For sure.
You could rent anything.
Yeah.
Like that's how we got UFCs back then. Remember, they were back. UFCs was next to Faces of
Oh,
Death.
for sure. The shit was wild.
Yeah, like so, 'cause I remember seeing Faces of Death and then UFC, like the first one ever.
We never should have been allowed to have, like, I think about
We shouldn't
it.
allowed to been back there. You know, remember you ever see
Yeah,
the
the
place where
curtain.
it like had beads
The curtain.
or curtain,
Yeah.
like it was like a secret room.
Yeah. So all you had to do is know somebody's parent that
Was wild.
didn't give a damn or wasn't paying attention or was drunk half the time.
And you could see like all the like what were they, soft porn type
Yeah.
movies.
Yep, that's what they
where,
had back
where
there.
the covers would show you shit and you'd be like, holy shit,
I shouldn't be back here.
there's somebody in a bikini.
Yeah. But Faces of Death, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
Some of the shit I was exposed to. That's why when the internet first hit and people used to watch that shit all the time, gore.
You know why? I was already preconditioned.
Me too.
Like to me, when people started watching the crazy stuff on the internet,
Rotten.com, gore,
like
all that shit.
I felt like, oh okay,
Yeah.
I was already
I've
at home.
seen this shit
I was already at home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch, dude.
Cool. I'll see some crazy shit.
I had no business watching this shit that we saw.
No.
Saw some wild.
Who
wild
remembers
shit.
Faces of Death?
Faces of Death
Had to be one of
scarred
the
us.
first crazy videos.
What damage did it do?
I think it helped us.
I don't know. You never know. I mean, why do I like serial killer documentaries so much? Why do I only listen to murder podcasts on Spotify and stuff?
Or why when you're when you're scrolling through videos and you see a crazy like train wreck or
I watch it every time.
some car hit somebody or,
I'm
or
watching-
a motorcycle wreck.
Any gore that's allowed on, like social media today, I'm 100% watching
Why?
it. And I think you're right. I'm preconditioned for it. I'm like, this is nothing.
I've seen
I've seen,
when I was 7.
when I was 8,
What year did
9
it come
years
out?
old. I don't
You
know,
know?
but it had to be before.
It was early.
Bro, it had to be before 1991.
It had to be. 100% was.
I know it is. Like, somebody fact check me. I know for a fact it was
It
before
was
1991.
early, dude.
Because I was watching it with my homeboy Anthony Eagler, and I moved from that neighborhood when I was 11. So, and I didn't have. I know it was before then, 1991. Look it up.
Who can relate?
But yeah,
Faces of Death.
unbelievable. We saw that shit. No business seeing what we. I don't want to go into detail, but
Imagine our kids looking at that now.
I couldn't even begin. That's what I'm saying. Like, what damage did it do to us?
I think we're cooler, man.
Probably. We're probably not as scared as the of the world. You know,
No.
we have a better understanding for the evil that is out there
Yep.
because we weren't sheltered from it nearly as much as we shelter our kids.
Yeah, and we digested it.
Yeah. We just were like, oh. So,
That can happen. And we didn't go out and become a serial killer either. So that's a flip side. It probably did to a couple people.
that's a plus. Faces of Death, wilding the fuck out. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to stumble through another one.
All right.
Early 90s for me. Well, I'd say about 1994, 1995, when I really started getting okay at basketball. Slam magazine was released. Who remembers Slam magazine?
That was when I was in high school, so
Yeah. The Slam magazine had us all thinking that we were going to make it to the NBA. I for sure did. I read this thing like it was the basketball Bible. And one thing that they really captured was they kind of linked up with hip-hop culture at the time. And these yin to the yang, man. It was
like a Sports Illustrated, like focused on just basketball.
Just basketball. I mean, it influenced how people dressed. It influenced what music people listened to. It influenced
The whole basketball culture.
the whole thing, man. And I was completely ingrained in it. I mean, I would, anytime I'd see a Slam magazine, I'd have to buy it.
Ball is life, bro.
And what's really dope, Slam magazine is still out today, and it reads the exact same way it reads the same way today that it did back in the day. The same format. The same articles are in there today. You know, there's like a trash talk article, and then
the same outline format of how they do.
yeah, the same exact
That's
format.
cool.
It's really dope. And you know, so I started looking at it. I'm like, let me look into Slam magazine.
Yeah, I thought
a
I
little
saw Cooper Flag on a cop, like the new guy.
Yeah,
'Cause I was
man.
like, hold
They're
on, that's new.
They're still putting them
That's
out.
crazy.
So the first issue.
Magazines didn't make a lot of magazines didn't make it.
Oh yeah, this one was
Like people, that's another topic. Magazines,
for sure. Yeah.
like bro, I had subscriptions.
Oh,
bro.
for sure.
Like multiple subscriptions to
Pre-internet,
magazines. bro.
Pre-internet, man. This. So you know how. So now we'll just scroll through Instagram and get all the highlights
That's
we need.
what we were doing.
We get all the highlights we need, and obviously there was SportsCenter, but that's pretty much all there was SportsCenter and your news channels.
My news and highlights of life came from magazines,
For absolutely.
and they would get you on those
I
subscriptions.
never read books. All I read magazines.
100%.
You couldn't get me to read a book. You
Dude.
give me a magazine, I'm gonna find some
I
shit.
can't
that
even
wanna
tell
read.
you how many I had. Like I would collect boxes upon boxes of old subscriptions of magazines.
I wish you still had.
I know, like Thrasher, fucking Sports
Thrasher.
Illustrated.
We'll get the
The
Thrasher.
swimsuit editions.
Yep. So the first Slam magazine featured Larry Johnson. Remember Larry Johnson? He was a
Grandmama.
beast.
That's Grandmama.
Beast.
If you don't know Grandmama,
Is that the commercial he did?
that's
Yeah.
he was the grandma.
Yeah.
That hooped.
Yeah. I remember that.
UNLV.
And like I said, it was the peak of hip hop at the time. It was the peak of the golden era. The golden era of hip hop is like from mid 80s until like 95. And I agree with that. And the magazine came out in 94. So it was right on time.
It was like
right on
right
time.
when the culture of basketball started merging with everything,
Yep.
which is awesome.
And there was some iconic covers. There's an Allen Iverson cover where he has the Philly jersey on. He's got the big afro. He's got a gold chain on, looking like a boss. Remember White Chocolate, Jason Williams. He had an epic cover. Stefan, what's his name?
Marbury.
Stefan Marbury and KG. They have a maybe the most iconic one. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's all subjective. Whatever's.
But we should
you.
find some of them.
Oh, for sure. Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was on a dope cover. LeBron and Sebastian Telfair.
Mm-hmm.
They were on one, which is, if you search it, that's the one that comes up. And Kobe Bryant was R.I.P. Kobe. He was on a real dope cover. So, and like I said, it's still around today. And I was thinking, and it came with the big poster.
Yeah, always.
Oh, it had the big poster in it. Like, I had these posters all over my room.
That's the shit you put in your wall.
For sure. And it was, I was like, I bet Slam Magazine is responsible for the slang term posterized. Because I feel like it came out around the early 90s. Getting posterized. Yeah, put you on a poster.
Well, Sports Illustrated, too.
Like you did not want to get dunked on at the time because you were afraid it was going to end up in Slam Magazine. I've literally heard professional basketball players say that. Like, they get dunked on, they'll be like, that'll be in Slam next month.
Yeah.
But no, that's not where it came from. I looked up posterized. Guess who created or who inspired the word posterized? Who was the original dunker? Who was the original?
Dr. J.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dr. J inspired the term posterized. I thought that was interesting.
He should have trademarked it.
He should have. Dr. Dunk, baby. Yeah. I wish I knew a little more about him. I just know he was a bad man.
Oh, yeah. He was one of the first.
But yeah, Slam Magazine, now that I'm talking about it, without a doubt, I'm about to start collecting Slam magazines.
So if you're on eBay, rack up some prices.
Because I'll be coming. You can get me. I'll be a sucker.
I still want to get some Thrashers. Man, I had every one.
Oh, we got to do
skateboarding magazines. We could talk a lot about some magazines.
Oh, Thrasher, man. We were so inspired by these magazines. Like this Slam magazine I'm talking about, like it, I looked to it to just kind of guide me.
Yeah.
To do what to do next.
It ingrained you into that culture. Like, it's just like Thrasher.
I wanted so badly.
I would look at it and get ideas on boards, do new skateboarders. Like, I'd be like, oh my God. And then they'd have that section where you could pick boards and wheels and fucking order shit.
Yep. I remember on Slam Magazine when they put Jason Williams on the cover and he's a white boy. Yeah. I was like,
I can do it.
This is my moment.
We made it.
We did it.
I'm gonna do it.
I can go to the NBA. Obviously, that didn't work out, but you see how it's inspiring.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
They had me out there skateboarding thinking I was gonna be Tony Hawk.
So I wonder if the internet inspires the way that we were inspired back in the day by these things. I'm sure it does.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Even more now that I say that. Now that I think about it,
you look at our kids.
It was just different.
Look at our kids in like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, right.
They're over making YouTube videos.
For sure. Yeah, it definitely does. It's just it was different. Our inspiration was different.
Kids walking around with phones, filming each other doing shit.
All right, let me get to the surprise, Will, because I've forgotten.
Well,
about
you
it
said
every
eBay. As soon as you said eBay, I remembered it.
So, I'm just gonna pull it out. We can talk about it. Then I have a hilarious story about it that I've always wanted to share. Well, I think I probably shared it on our past podcast, but check this out. I don't know why I even thought about this the other day. It just popped up. So, early 90s, everybody had one.
The Super Soaker.
This is the original Super Soaker.
That's hilarious.
You remember that, bro? Yeah. Look at that. How dope is that?
Bro, it's the 50.
That's the one.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember, like, when you say it to me, I remember, like, the Super Soaker 5000 type shit.
This was the one.
That's the original.
This is the OG Super
Looks
Soaker.
like a goddamn Ghostbuster gun.
I know. It works, too. I got that on little eBay special.
Bro, this technology, bro. Like, whoever invented, like, when they did this, they were like, I'm going to fuck people up with this.
Yep.
And 1990 on it.
Yep, and it works good, too. Like, I was out there spraying the kids with it. I sprayed the cat with it.
That's hilarious.
Super Soaker, y'all. Super Soaker.
Everybody had
the OG
that.
Super Soaker. Everybody in the early 90s had a Super Soaker. It was just part of your birthright.
Before then, we had these stupid little guns.
This changed the whole shit. Kids running around with little squirt guns. You're just like holding it down.
Lighting you up,
bro. You hold it, and as much air, as much pressure as you have in there, it's gonna spray the whole time.
Yeah,
you can just hold that trigger down, baby.
And it was not to play with.
Awesome
You
piece.
shoot somebody in the face with that, they're not fucking with you the rest.
No,
of the
and
day.
it stung. Yeah. If you pumped it up enough.
Not that you could pick on people with that.
Yeah, this thing was no joke. But here, let me tell you a quick story about the Super Soaker. Picture this, 1999. Car full of dudes leaving school. It was summertime. I remember being hot outside. Windows were down. And for whatever reason, the whole car, 5 dudes, 1 shitty car riding around. 4 out of the 5 had Super Soakers, fully loaded, had that thing on us. You know what I mean? We're on Bardstown Road, in the Highlands. It's a very busy district here in Louisville, Kentucky. We come to a red light. You know, we're just riding around. We're all broke. We ain't got shit. You know, we're banging some Spice One or something,
Causing some havoc.
yeah, just getting into some shit, squirting people. But we hadn't busted them out yet. We hadn't found anybody that we wanted to squirt, you know? I mean, right on cue. At the red light. Car full of girls pull up right next to us. And what are they playing? No Scrubs by TLC. I can't make this shit up.
That's fucking perfect.
They're listening to No Scrubs by TLC. They're all looking over at us.
And 5 scrubs pull up.
And literally 5 scrubs were next to them. We didn't have a damn thing. They're all mouthing, singing to us, looking at us, laughing and stuff. And I was in the back passenger seat. So the girl that was in the back driver's seat made eye contact with me, looks me right in the face and goes, "Yuck." And I was like, damn, what did I do? I'm just existing.
Like, watch this.
And she hits me with yuck. And then I was like, okay. She didn't know I had that thing on me. I mean, this is like a movie. This is like a scene from Boys in the Hood. When old boy's running in slow motion and they just light his ass up as he's running. That was me, but with the Super Soaker. And like I said, the whole car was strapped. Pulled that thing up in slow motion. I mean, look how long it is. Look how long that is. I mean, it was damn near in her face. Bro, I let that thing go and just lit the whole car up, and then everybody in the car with me had their squirt guns pointed out the window. We lit the whole car up as it took off. But she caught this whole shit was destroyed. So you know what? Be careful who you're saying yuck to, who you're disrespecting. That TLC had y'all gassed up.
You might get that Super Soaker 50.
You got that Super Soaker 50 to the dome piece.
Y'all might have had the advanced version.
You're lucky I didn't have the 5,000 that Will was talking about. Yeah. You're lucky I only had about 10 pumps in, because you could pump it more than that.
That's leaking.
Is it leaking?
Yeah, it got water.
I had some water in it. Yeah. So yeah, that's my story, and it's a fond memory I have, and
yeah, people are gonna remember that, man.
Like, you pulled up on me, hey, said yuck to my face. Let's be honest. How'd it feel?
That's funny.
That's
dude.
my.
I can't believe you had that, bro.
So now we got to figure out a place to hang it in here.
Yeah, that's got to go.
This has got to go somewhere. I mean,
that's awesome, dude. I forgot one. There's one more to talk about.
What?
The sleepovers. I think that'd be funny.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, so we get a lot of follower and listener suggestions to talk about,
which we still got a list, so we're coming.
Yeah, this was pretty early on, but I like the thought of this.
Yeah,
one.
me too, because this is personifies the, oh man, I guess 80s and 90s. Like, I mean, it's for any, however old you are.
There's a lot of 80s in here for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying people older, people younger, all can relate to this.
For sure. Let me find. I just want to get his name, his handle. Okay. So this is a follower topic. This is from Machine13 on TikTok. He wants us to talk about 90s sleepovers, and he mentioned lugging around consoles and games.
Oh, bro.
But there was so much more to 90s sleepovers than that.
When I was a kid, I would just take games because at that point, everybody had a console.
Pretty much had a console.
Or like I would go to my buddies and he'd have a Genesis.
And we'd just play his games.
Yeah, and we'd play his shit.
Yeah.
So, but like sleepovers, dude, it's probably not even a thing people do much anymore.
Yeah, my kids don't really. I mean, my kids have like slept over once.
Unless it's like our cousins.
Like cousins.
But like back then, dude, if you were in the neighborhood, I'm probably sleeping over.
For sure.
You know what I mean? I'll be there.
I think it's just a different climate nowadays.
It's a different world.
Parents are different nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly,
And
me too.
another thing, like you said earlier about the watching stuff, like that's another way I saw and watched things that I wasn't allowed to watch.
What's that? Oh,
at
yeah.
somebody's house. Like I would stay over at a buddy's house, and they'd have an older sister or brother doing shit that we didn't even know what they were doing.
Right.
Like who knows? They might have been smoking joints, fucking watching Freddy Krueger, Texas Chainsaw, like watching stuff that you're like, what?
This is how 90% of the stuff I was exposed to that defines me today, I was exposed to it from older siblings of my friends at sleepovers.
Bro. And
100%.
It basically on accident.
Right. Just
I was there.
Yeah. Guilty by
their
association.
boyfriend would be with their sister.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like just you'd see grown up shit happening when you were a kid.
Yep. That you would never
see at
talk
home.
about or see at home with your parents.
And you definitely didn't tell them when you went home.
No way, because you wanted to do it again.
Yeah, because if you went home and was like, they did this, you're not going back.
You're 100% not going back.
Yeah.
So you just had to be like, oh, it was great.
Yeah,
we had fun.
fun times.
We played Nintendo.
Didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
But I played tons of games at my friend's house.
Yep.
Tons of tournaments.
Movies
long
for me.
nights. No curfews.
Oh.
Shit. Staying up late.
Your bedtime with your mom or your dad, you know, was
totally different.
Yeah, you were going to sleep early. When you're at a sleepover,
totally different.
You're pushing the limits.
Yeah, bro.
3 o'clock, you're like, oh my god,
Yep.
I'm 11 and it's 3 o'clock. I'm holding on. I remember staying up all night before,
Me
or
too.
like till 5 or 6 in the morning. But one of the reasons that I stayed up all night and my friends is because we watched a horror
Krueger.
film.
Something like
Freddy
that.
Krueger. No, it was definitely Freddy Krueger.
Don't sleep.
Yeah, where they do.
If you sleep, you're gonna die.
Also, Jason, for whatever
Anything, dude.
anything I watched back then that was even horror related scared the shit out of us. We'd sleep
What
with
a
the
fun
lights on.
time, though, bro.
Yeah, looking back on it,
Fun.
I'd be in my buddy's room. We'd be in there, all the lights on,
And you be freaking each other out.
Any noise you heard, oh my god!
That's what I'm saying. You made yourself think whatever you wanted to.
You couldn't wait for the morning to come.
Like, I'm going home.
Soon as the sun came up, pew,
I got
gone.
something for you. Oh, did you ever do this? I would go over to a buddy's house, spend the night, take a backpack, everything, take shit, clothes, end up abort mission. For some reason, one or another.
Something was off.
I didn't want to do it.
Yep.
Y'all got to come get me.
Yep.
Dad.
Dude.
Call my dad on the rotary phone or whatever,
For sure.
the cordless phone.
Yep.
And be like, you got to come get me.
Oh, for sure.
I need to go home.
Oh, absolutely. I did it.
Or walk home.
Yeah, so sleepovers, man,
Dude.
super dope. Exposed us to everything. It's probably half the reason I am who I am are these experiences.
Yeah, it was a lot of good times, man. And just remembering them fondly today.
Yeah.
I know a bunch of people that watch our channel have crazy sleepover memories.
Yeah, so hey, if you have any topics you want us to cover, feel free to leave them in the comments. I literally see every comment and I write down. I have a note in my phone that I copy and
We'll
paste.
get to them.
We'll get to them at some point.
Yep.
That's the show, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate
episode.
all the love and support. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram. Listen and watch Spotify, Apple. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe. All that stuff. Thanks for the support. We're just having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
This is
Straight
so
up
much fun. I can literally see this being creatively how I express myself, and I'm sure Will feels the exact same for a long time to
Yes,
come.
the nostalgia is just the bug has been satisfied.
Yeah, all I needed was someone to be on the same page with me, and now we have it.
Yeah.
So, hey man, buckle up. But we are gonna need ideas.
Let's go back in time.
We're gonna need ideas. I love that. Let's go back in time, y'all. Super Retro. Peace.
Later.